It's okay. Off your mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mic, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. sọ́ra jù. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Ayé sọ́ra jù. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Ayé sọ́ra jù.
Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, as you are reading the caption of the broadcast, take your time to read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it, to invite your friends and your not so friendly friends. Tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. And if you have done that, of course, thank you. So tonight, the rider or the caption for the broadcaster tonight is Nigeria on the road to this one-party state. A reality that a lot of gullible people have praised as Thiefnubu's ingenuity and all that stuff. So tonight, we are going to look into the crossover of one PDP governor and how many are still being expected to link up with Thiefnubu, even though there are those who have been, or should I say, Athiefku and his own co-travelers. They have been, muting the idea. In fact, they have actually been talking tough on the idea of a coalition. So their coalition to remove Thiefnubu. The PDP governor came together and said they were not going to be part of any coalition. Meanwhile, currently in Nigeria, they have 21 state governors, right? While that's a APC. PDP have 12 state governors. So the permutation for Thiefnubu's second term in 2027 is to, drop the mask, over what is called the PDAPC, kind of, right? Drop the mask. And from the remaining 12 PDP governors, how many of them are still in PDP, right? So we have it on a very good, kind of credible as authority that from the 12 PDP governors, there are at least 9 of them who are currently with Thiefnubu. And from these 9, there is a guaranteed 5 of them are going to join Thiefnubu before the end of this year, as well as at the middle of next year. So it's going to swallow them up all together. The states that they rejected the APC, they will now become the state controlled by APC. So what states, right? So yesterday, was it yesterday that I did mention something about it, okay? In a place where the establishment that you have in that place, okay, they do not really have any form of, differences per se. They are all the same, on the same boat. And politically, right, it is mostly, not always, just about their interests, as you must know, right? So they have the governors of Adamawa, Fintiri, Kefasof of Taraba, right? This Muftang of Plateau, Mbah of Enugu. There's a mention of that of Diri of Bayelsa, but it is not so, yeah. Then you have River State, where Fubara is believed to have been tamed. Yeah, it doesn't matter what your impression is about the whole thing. But from what we are hearing, from what I have heard, right, is that, you know, as part of the condition for him to ever return back to the government house in River State, in Port Harcourt, he would have to consider the date. He is also going to go and join Thiefnubu. And there's another kind of like a proviso, right? That Fubara will finish his term, cooperate with Wike on all fronts, and then never attempt to go for a second term. We're going to get to that part, okay? So this evening we are starting from Rivers. I'm sorry, we're starting from Delta. So you see, Delta was mentioned, right, among the 4 first state PDP governors that are going to go and join Thiefnubu. It was like a foregone concluded stuff, right? But the story of Delta is a little bit kind of like unique, not in a good way, but unique in the sense that Delta State happened to be one of the richest states in Nigeria. It's also one of the, you know, the most poorly, terribly managed states in Nigeria. Right from the time of, Ononafe James Ibori, right? Then straight, I just forgot the guy in the middle. Anyway, then you got Okowa. Then after Okowa, you have this Sherrif. I don't want to say that, the Delta people have been unlucky, just them, not just them, right? Majority of all of Nigerians are unlucky with the characters that have managed to hijack power in their different states, right? But here is the twist. Okowa, 2 years ago, or maybe 2.5 years ago, when Athiefku managed to edge out with a wicket from PDP, Okowa was cornered. No, is that the right word? Cornered, no? Okay, Okowa was kind of like toasted, like, no, that's not even the right word too. But you know what I'm trying to say is that Okowa happened to be one of the richest oil, states, oil producing states in Nigeria, collecting huge amount of allocation. So Okowa, in the political parlance, would say Okowa had a very deep pocket. Not like Wike wouldn't match Okowa, money for money. But Athiefku rejected Wike and went for Okowa. It was like a big deal, especially for the SPV boys, the articulators on social media then. Now, cut the long story short, Athiefku, right, got edged out plus Okowa. Then fast forward to a year later, right? Okowa started receiving maybe not calls or maybe not into or maybe not SMS messages to come and account for over 1.3 trillion naira Delta State's money. I mean, like with a Wike, if not for the deal that Wike managed to get with Thiefnubu in a real country, with a Wike right now would be in jail. Listen, there are many. I've told you this before that it's not just this with a Wike. Like more than 99% of your criminal leaders, doesn't matter which political party or which religion they practice or wherever they come from, in that contraption, 99% of your criminal leaders belong in prison. They don't belong in any public office at all, deciding the fate of millions of people. But here is just one, just for the mention. Where Wike is considered to have looted nearly 2 trillion naira when he was governor of River State. And this is not even an exaggeration. Again, just not to deviate, okay? So Okowa was being hunted. At first, it just went so quiet, like off the radar, until this year, right? Don't forget that in Delta State, James Ibori is their godfather, almost all of them. Almost all of them. I'm not saying all of them. At least it is the lineage of James Ibori that produced all these guys up to the current one that is there. And he's a power to Thiefnubu. Don't get, you do know that. Anyway, Okowa was invited, pretty much like arrested. But lucky him, there is no mugshot of him anywhere by the EFCC for 1.3 trillion naira Delta State money. He denied any wrongdoing. He said he can account for, there's no money missing. But again, those who are closer to them obviously know that there's this pressure of, if you join APC, we can make your problem, all this, your trouble, go away. Look at Akpabiole. He was standing trial for stealing 105 billion naira Akwa Ibom state money when he was governor. See his life now. Immediately he joined APC. They made him a special advisor to Buhari. After that, they made him the minister of Niger Delta. After that, he didn't even contest the election. He went back to the National Assembly. Today, Akpabiole is the number 3 man in that contraption. Do you get that now? So there's nothing you have done, Okowa, that is, the only thing is that it has to be done within a certain group if you have to be forgiven. Now, this will be called the political maverick or something like that. No, this is just a conglomeration or the coming together, should I say convention, of criminals. Anyway, yesterday, Okowa told his followers, this was Athiefku's number 2 man, by the way, right? Okowa told his followers that he would tell them where he is headed next. So it was like, okay. So this morning, he arrived at the government house in Asaba, where a meeting was held. They called it stakeholders meeting. And at that stakeholders meeting, they all declared that they are all going to APC. Or the PDP in Delta. And then you see, there will be more of this kind of news. The next one is probably going to be Kano. Yeah, I've heard that now that Kwakwansop is due. And it is not just him, Anyway, let's stop by in Delta quickly before we go into, the nitty-gritty of what looks like the journey to a one-party state officially. We can identify those of you who still believe in that one Nigeria, or somehow you think you probably have what it takes to revive this contraption. So the whole picture will be kind of like a lay bed. And you realize that it is you versus them, although it is currently being kind of like pushed as an agenda, right? That they had it on a very good authority, okay, that the entire southern Nigeria will be turned to APC for Thiefnubu against the gang up that is led by Athiefku. Peter Obi's role in all of this, right? I'll tell you what they are kind of like pushing as, Peter Obi and his obedience will be this. This is their permutation. Do you understand? But let's go to Delta first. Okowa, Sherrif, and the other PDP supposed structure in Delta states singing on your mandate.
By the special grace of God. So any years can wait, you wait. In your later, no, but I take the decision. It will be in the best interest. And I remind you, Obiani, Basana, that decision as they take it. In your list, be assured that we will not go in the wrong direction. We will take the best thing, the best direction, the best path for our people. The house name. Ekele kamundo tolopo. Kono ga kwat ka no mani ikaun apo ha igbo ha. Come. Let them move, let them turn.
Let them move.
It is said that when the taste of the palm wine changes, the drinking pattern also changes. And the leaders of the party, in the course of the consultation, were unanimous in their view that the political temperature have changed, the taste of the palm wine in this instance have also changed, and there was the need for us to adjust the drinking pattern. And in adjusting that drinking pattern, we needed to take a decision that would further help to cement the development in our state, to build the bond of love that have existed in our state, to further advance the cause of security and the welfare of our people, and to a very large extent ensure that development is Delta, because even politics is local, it's not truncated. And in taking that decision, we came to the inevitable conclusion that moving out of the PDP is very, very necessary for us to be able to collaborate with our kith and kin and build that state that every Delta will be proud of. We believe that what is happening at the state of the PDP is akin to that palm wine whose tastes have changed, and there was a need for us to change the drinking pattern. And that is why this decision has been taken unanimously by leaders and stakeholders of the party, and by the grace of God, on Monday next week, we will be able to make a very big statement as to the fact that we are moving into the APC. But I have here with me, perhaps also when you ask questions, you'll be able to throw more light as to the reason why we have to adjust our drinking pattern of this particular palm wine whose tastes have changed. Thank you very much. But before you ask your question, I would like our leader to give you full insight, some few insights as to how we came to this inevitable conclusion. Distinguished senators. Thank you.
On your mandate, they shall stand. You know, everybody knows that is joining them to escape justice, not because those that are hunting him are different. So, shall you get me now? And this is why we said thieves can't really fight thieves. You know, criminals don't really fight themselves. As long as everyone is free to take whatever they want, there will be no fight, no rivalry, except when you want to take what somebody else has taken, then they'll say, oh, there is rivalry and all that, but still, you know. So they looted Delta State. And to avoid jail, just decamp to APC. That in itself, you may call it politics. It is called obstruction of justice. You know, Nigeria is a lawless place. So I may be sounding so strange to some of you that will just chuckle or just laugh. You know, but that is why Nigeria is a failed country led and being controlled, led by career criminals. A democracy needs a very strong, viable opposition that can provide alternative to whatever it is that the ruling government is offering. That is not what you have in that contraption. People are so corrupt. They are so corrupt, entangled, right, that they cannot sincerely stand up for the people they claim to be doing it for. Did you hear Okowa earlier that said, you know, he's doing it in the best interest of his people? But that's not true, right? So people destroying people is finished, all right? And that in itself, plus the known effort of Thiefnubu and his gang, planting in different kind of a crisis in opposition party, you know, like exploiting the greed of those ones too. So making it very like impossible for the people to actually have choice. Do you understand why it is like when you don't have any choice? When the entire system is so rigged that only a few people will determine who will actually become what in an election. Even though they might put up a show that makes it look like you are participating in an election, which is what you do in that contraption though, right? That simply means that there is not going to be end. I mean, there is no end in sight. So whatever it is that the people are facing, the greed of the supposed political class is so deep. And then, you know, the corruption of those ones in government, these career criminals, to, oh man, it's good. There's a good thing in that, okay? And I will tell you, what is the good thing in that? You see, a lot of people will tell you about, I mean, a lot of people will kind of pretend to raise the alarm about one party state this, one party state that, right? And then that's it. Everybody just live through it like that, right? But there is going to be a good news about that, and which I'm going to analytically sort of like share with you. Before that, here is Dele Momodu. He's a PDP stalwart himself, and he considered himself as one of the leaders of PDP. You know, he had this to say about Okowa that just left them.
Yes, virtually, who I don't want to lose him because of issues of internet and technology. Chief Dele Momodu, he was an advisor to Athiefku Abubakar in the 2023 presidential election, and himself had also been on the ballot for a presidential election. Chief Dele Momodu, thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Sheung.
For those who think this is not a slap on the face of your party, but this is a blow to your party, and Ifeanyi Okowa, a sitting governor, and all of the establishment, I could see Ndudi Olumelu, see Senator James Manager, and all the local government leaders in the PDP in Delta State, the leaders of the party at the state level, all of them saying where Sherrif goes, they go. Isn't this perhaps the biggest that has hit the party since the aftermath of the 2023 presidential election?
Well, I'm a very good student of Nigeria's political history, so nothing can surprise me about our politicians. The history of Nigerian politics is replete with stories of defections. When you talk about our leader, Okowa, joining APC, I'm not surprised. He's been under serious harassment in recent time. And don't forget that in 1993, one of the first people to dump Chief Moshood Abiola was Baba Gana Kingibe, who was his running mate. So it's nothing new. What will surprise me is if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu believes that people are joining APC because they love him or because he's doing so fantastically well. What people are doing now is a game of survivor. Gone are the days when we used to boast that to go to prison makes us a martyr. Gone are the days when we admire the likes of Nelson Mandela, Jomo Kenyatta, MKO Abiola, Chief Awolowo, all of them for going to detention. These days, nobody wants to go to detention. Everybody wants to be at home to enjoy whatever money they have made in politics. So if you see people today, name one of them who has not been aroused at different times by either EFCC, ICPC, or special fraud unit, or any of the agencies. So for me, it is clear that this government strategy is a carrot and stick. If we can't persuade you, we can force you. And I think force is working for now. But in politics, anything can change in 24 hours. I remember in those days when I was growing up, during the Awolowo time, and they used to sing, if you see my face, you cannot see my stomach. My advice to assure you is that you should not trust this politician. Right now, everybody can see that he is determined to have a second term, but God gave him the first time, not through coercion. So I don't know why he now believes that we get second term only via coercion.
Nuisance Lele.
Bob D is so, but we take it in the fact that Okowa, a criminal who was a deputy or vice to Athiefku, right, is trying to survive. I mean, is doing survival politics. I get it. We don't know that of the governor, though, right? Anyway, there's something I'm going to refer back to now. It was at the height of the PDP's power in Nigeria. Do you know when that was? It was in 2011. And it was kind of the time that somehow the northern Nigeria got challenged for the first time. Most of you may not see it that way, all right? So you see, when Yar'Adua died in 2010, right? And then Jonathan became the substantive president of Nigeria. Naturally, people believed that he had the right to say he wants to be president again. While others felt like this whole thing arrangement, sure you get, let's bring somebody else to come and finish what Yar'Adua started and stuff like that. Right? And the likes of, the real, this was when PDP was, yeah? So the likes of Obasanjo and Co, they put their weight, they tabled a deal. In one of the famous deals that they said Jonathan reneged on was when Obasanjo just offered Sule Lamido that in 2015, Sule Lamido will replace Jonathan. Jonathan will just, they said, they've agreed to that since 2011. And a year after, okay, well, you all know the story anyway. So a year after, Obasanjo and Jonathan, they nearly became sworn enemy. 2 years after that, they became sworn enemy. And that was like on and on until 2015. But by 2012, this was like a year after Jonathan was sworn in as, And I remember too, I do remember that. In fact, in 2011, then, it was almost like the South versus the North as well. Because Jonathan was so popular for a PDP, especially in the Southwest, that it was unreal. It was like, no, he must, That gave Thiefnubu the idea, that PDP is coming to the end of its power. And all this, when I say power, I'm talking about the power to decide, not the people, not you, that they are giving plastic card, the paper that they are giving to you to go and say you are voting. No, you are not the one who will actually make all these guys. They do. That's how powerful some of them felt. I'm using PDP now because that's what Thiefnubu and his gang, that's how they are feeling. Thiefnubu from 2010 felt like he made Jonathan president. Maybe not directly like that, but like he contributed so hugely to make Jonathan president. And he was able to go out to tell everybody that Jonathan betrayed the Yorubas after they supported him. And in jail, I mean, people bought it because it was unbelievable that in Yoruba land, for example, people would just ignore the PDP, you know, because I was in Nigeria there, so I know what I'm talking about, right? So it was so unreal that Jonathan got all of that support, everybody, you know. So by 2012, it wasn't hard, right, for Thiefnubu and his gang to stage that, what do you call it, fuel subsidy removal protest, if you remember. And on every other thing that followed until PDP, or should I say the guy in charge, felt like the power was off. There was nobody left. You know, these guys have regrouped elsewhere and they were willing to burn down the country if he tried to wield his power. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Is because it's been it's been 10 years since the APC, Egbekegbe, took over Nigeria. They feel so powerful. They feel, right now, it seems like they have just about either 2 years or, like PDP, 6 years left before the final implosion. Right now, they feel like invincible. They feel so powerful. You know, like you can complain if you want. You can say whatever you like. We will do whatever we want. When it comes to who becomes what, in that contraption, people won't decide. We will decide. And then you will complain. You will cry. You will scream, this and that. Then what are you going to do? They are getting to that stage. And it's a stage where the supposed representatives of the people, for example, like you have a democracy, okay? So where people have choices. They decided not to go with these guys. All right? In your entirely corrupt system, people still decided not to. So somehow, that is sort of like registered, Abi. Supposedly, millions of people. Then your group of people will just say, because of your political interest, you can just change that and then give them what they rejected and tell them to smile because it is in their own interest while you are trying to save yourself. So that's what will happen. So you then have to APC, this APC, they will now have so many greedy, overfed career criminals, overfed pigs, all right, in their midst that, you see, it will be like a bubble, all right? A bubble that once it gets bigger, you know, the bigger it becomes, the nearer to implosion it gets. So maybe somehow, this is something historical. But you know what I will predict for the implosion of the APC? Because they have to do this one party state. They have to. Although, on many occasions, right, we have discovered that, you see, the obedient, as well as those of you who are the take it backers. I know you're not to the grief for yourself, which is fine, a choice, but you are both one Nigerianist. Over time, right, yous have been, and maybe people like us, but I am not a one Nigerianist, so I will use the two of you. So over time, you have shown, right, that you care so much about this contraption, right? Enough that while those who are their, their boo-boo sellers, I'm talking about from the days of the Buhari, right? The Buhari Danes, the Buhari Didirins, the Buhari Denotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the entire clan of the Sai barbarians, right? The Bati Diot, the Bastards, right? So when you see all those ones who, when it's obvious how ruined these guys have sort of like ruined Nigeria, okay, they will still stand up and tell you that, well, I mean, you know, they're doing fine, kind of. I mean, that's their own job to defend them. Together, that they're like, I call them their sellers. They will defend them, they will speak. But you see, you, the obedient, the take it backers, you've always been among those who always stand up to these guys. You've always been their easy praise. Whenever they want to flex their power of showing their power of estate capture, the control, those of you who they say you have this big mouth on you, right, to criticize them, you are their targets. Because now they feel like, say, Nigeria, if you save Nigeria. You get it now? So you don't agree, you do not sort of like agree, and you know, it's unfortunate to the advantage. Nobody can now, I mean, sorry, we can actually call you the real divided opposition. Because everyone else, seriously, everyone else from all these camps, from PDP to all these other guys, right? These are career criminals. You know, if you see them in other political party, it is because, you know, they couldn't get a seat or a chair. And they just need to go make noise elsewhere so that they can get called in and possibly taken care of, right? So now the real opposition, unfortunately, you are divided. Unfortunately. So these, they are one-party states. They must do it. Last week, it was the Arewas who are sending out different threats. Yeah, if Thiefnubu dare rig 2027 elections, right, Nigeria will cease to exist. I'm like, yeah, Thiefnubu, do it. Because to Thiefnubu and his gang, now mouth on get nothing on go do. So similarly, for the obedient, especially the biggest opposition group, the real opposition, right, is that they believe that if Thiefnubu, no, they are actually saying election that cannot be rigged. The only thing that will save Thiefnubu is when Obi doesn't run. So to them as well, right, they are likely going to, okay, from experience, they didn't the last time, but they said this time they won't let it go if they are rigged out. So I am going to possibly put my bet on that, so that, yeah, if they participate and they think and then they get rigged out. So I want to see how it's going to go. Then the Northern Nigeria, right, who says they are going to come behind another candidate except Thiefnubu, right? So they too are saying that if they get rigged out, then Nigeria will cease. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. That's some good news there, right? So that's what I meant by there is good news in this. They are one-party state. They are praising Thiefnubu, his own praise singers, right? The people who cares, the people who understands, believes that Nigeria is headed for the greater destruction that you've never seen before because of the greed of the selfish criminal politicians you have in that place, right? Some people are worried. I'm not worried. I want them to go ahead. What's the difference between them? Seriously, right? So Thiefnubu kind of, which is normally what happens, right? Once you have that mantra and you are the president of that contraption, everybody revolves, or everything revolves around you, right? So to Thiefnubu, these guys coming together, bringing all their states, shows how political savvy I am. All right? So then who is going to stop me? Who is going to stop me? You know, a typical obedient will say, we will stop you. Just allow free and fair election. Just allow this and that. But Thiefnubu is like, how are you going to do that? Eh? Look at all these guys. Everybody is coming for cover. Everybody is coming in now to get covered from it. So who is going to stop me? Do you get where I'm going with this, right? So to me, I want me to maintain it like that. Like it should continue that way. Feel so confident that so Thiefnubu, these are the people that matters. They told me people loves me. If you don't, it's because, well, that's your problem. So I don't have to deal with that. So I can have my way. I can do whatever I want. And if you don't like it, well, that's your problem. Because look at all these guys. Everybody's coming to me. That's how powerful I am. So who's going to stop me? Who is going to stop Thiefnubu? You see that feeling? You see that feeling? That feeling makes me very much like prepared to see how those who want to fix Nigeria the way they think they can, how they're going to take it when somebody who feels so powerful. Institutions are just at his, footsteps and what have you. So I can declare myself winner. So what are you going to do? Waiting I go do, be waiting I won't see. In a country where the Fulani terrorists and different kind of terrorists are running amok, I'm serious. The state governors in Nigeria, which are, who are indeed like mini Nigeria. So whatever you see happening at a large scale, in a large scale, sort of like at the federal, right? You get to see, the cluster style, kind of the same corruption going on everywhere. They are like mini Hitler themselves. So it's like a cult now, though, fortunately. That's not democracy. That's not safe for the people. That's not fear on the people. It's like people, people gain power. Then they become kind of like, they become like a court who agrees, whatever they agrees on is theirs. It is never about what the people that give them the, no, sure I should say that the people give them the power, considering the fact that majority of them actually rig themselves in. Anyway, in Benue State, okay, where the report of killings, right, have been, have been like a flooding our social media space, and Thiefnubu as well. His silence is, his silence is so loud that it is so deafening too. He's visiting Nigeria right now, and there is yet any single mention of these killings. Orebadom was there yesterday, though. Okay, so while their governor was doing this media, sort of like a media awareness, put it that way, talking about their problems. From what I got, from where I kind of like cut off from what he told Sheung Alia, the father of Benue, right? Who is also APC, by the way. Normally they will say, oh, we are joining APC so that we can join the center, right? Oh dear. Anyway, so it's APC. There is no protection from any center for them to start with. However, Alia says, these people who are killing their people in Benue State are not Nigerians. And it sounds like I've heard this before. Have you?
Herders. What is the identity, as far as you know, as the #1 citizen of the state? What do you know about this narrative?
Let's have the narrative very correct. We know Nigerians by our own ethnicities. We know we can identify a Fulani man, a Yoruba man, a Hausa man, and all that. We know them. And then with the regular traditional herders, we know them walking with cows, just herders, and then with some stick and at most the machetes. That is not the case. These folks are coming in fully armed with AK-47s, AK-49. They don't bear the Nigerian looks, and they don't speak what we speak. Their Hausa, it's one sort of Hausa. It's not the normal Hausa we Nigerians speak. So it is with the Fulanis they speak. There is a trend of language they speak. And there are some of our people who understand what they speak, and they give it names. They say they are Malians and different form of people, but they are not Nigerians, believe it. This is the second phase we're seeing. The initial one was with the traditional herders. The traditional herders, we had less troubles with them. And it might interest you to know that in a number of cases, when the terrorists now come in, it's the traditional herders that we give us some kind of heads up that certain people have come in, they don't know them, and what these people do with any person on their way is cleared. This is never associated with the other traditional groups that used to pass through to Benue and then they move further down to the south. What we see, what we experience has a new, different, strange face. And it is quite alarming. If you go to Katsina local government now, the entire local government is extremely infested with these terrorists. They have spread themselves everywhere. They are everywhere. And it's not only this. Believe me, it is a siege. We are under a siege.
Governor,
because
yeah,
out of the 27, out of the 23 local governments, I had mentioned 17. Since we came in, we turned this down so much that 9 local governments were now in the red lines. But again, we fought in a very serious way that the majority of the local governments that are in the red lines, now in the front lines of these insurgencies, are now 6. And it is quite troubling. It is very troubling.
Let me ask you, are we seeing a new strain of terrorist sect or cell?
Right. Now they hear the Mumufada Alia. I suppose find a name for that for him. He's been appearing in the news lately, and he's one big asshole as well. All right. So for what he said, right? Like I said, I have heard that before. Some of you can please have this memory throwback to 2016, 2015, 2016. When they were, when we were told that these terrorists, they were not Nigerians. They were Nigerians, they were Malians, they are this, they are that. Then they changed the story. Then too, remember, they were actually slaughtering people in Benue State. That was the first shocker under Boko Haram's murderous regime. They told us that then suddenly the whole thing changed from them being from Mali, Niger, Chad, all these places. How did they cross Nigeria border? How did they get so into the country, right? The heart of the country enough that they went straight for the indigenous people on their farms and they slaughtered them. How did they, who is responsible for your border? A lot of questions. Then they changed the story. They changed it. They said, no, they are Nigerians. We have to give them lands for peace. What the heck are you talking about? Give our murderers land so that we can leave? Doesn't make any sense. It didn't make sense then. Still doesn't. So 10 years later, if Alia is telling us again that those who are murdering people in Benue State are not Nigerians, the older theory, right? Or is mixing his. It's like he's updated his own. Because according to him, right? So there are those ones called what did he call them again? He said traditional others. Traditional others. What does that even mean? Number one, he couldn't really mention their name, by the way. The Fulani terrorists. He couldn't. So he called them, I think he did call them terrorists, but he couldn't say Fulani terrorists because they actually have identity. They do. Right? Traditional others. He said traditional others tells them ahead when these other ones comes to attack them with AK-47, AK-49. What does that even mean? Dishonesty. Anyway, he said when he came to power, 9 local government areas out of 23 local government areas were under the control of the terrorists. Infested. He said, in quote, I quote him, he said, extremely infested by terrorists. With terrorists. 9 local government areas. And right now, according to him, they only have 6 local government areas. 6 local government areas. We are now talking about millions of people, if you put them together, at least. Right? In danger, in danger, vulnerable, and they are at the mercy of this new terrorist. He further said,
Them are bandits, or I mean, we know the nature of Boko Haram terrorists, but this is looking like a very different strain or group or a cell that is totally in a different nature or description as what we understand. From your own understanding and what you know, the knowledge of these people, whom you say they don't have the nature of the Nigerian, Hausa, Fulani, Benue, Plateau kind of person that you know. Do we have on our hands a new version of terrorism gangs on our soil?
It is very obvious. Definitely, it's very obvious. You know, they may have cells elsewhere, and it's a very strong suspicion that in some element of Nasarawa, and then now it is established that they have some cell in at the border between Nigeria and Cameroon. We say Nigeria, which is currently local government. These people come in as they kill, as they maim, as they push people away. They just hit, kill, and then they run back. You know, where are they running back to? Benue is just in the middle of Nigeria. So we're surrounded by states. So they're walking through a number of states to get into us here, Benue. So it should concern every person, including our neighbors. This must be very concerning to all of them. We've been working in sync with the governor of Nasarawa as well, and then the governor of Taraba. But I feel that our efforts at some point would work, and then we experience some calm, and then at certain times when it is planting season, when it is harvesting season, and then the drill we have, it becomes quite unimaginable. So this is deliberate, this is calculated, this is
for what purpose do you imagine,
planned and then
Governor
being
Alia,
executed?
For what purpose do you think these gangs and these evil people are acting? Is it to benefit from the harvest of your people, who are majority of farmers, or what exactly? In Plateau State, the governor told me that it looks like some kind of
Here
intention.
is land grabbing. Here is land grabbing. Here is land grabbing.
So they grab the land
they
and they chase the people out and they stay in the land. Is that what they're doing? They're taking the territory.
Yeah, that's what's going on, because there are some local governments here. These people have occupied in the last 15 years. In the last 15 years. And then those are the areas you hear of constant attacks, because they hit and then they go back into the local government hinterlands. So what they do with the store food produce is the other batch that would come with the herders, they would now open the barns, destroy the food, cut the yams and whatever, the yams and then the corn, the guinea corn, the maize, and then just throw to the cows to eat. That phase now kind of died down. What we see now wears a different face. These come only armed fully, with their own gadgets and machetes and guns. So when they do their own business of attacking and killing and driving people out, after a little while, when everybody is left, then they now come back and take possession of those areas.
So, Governor, I'm going to come to something very important. How impacted has farming or agriculture been in your state? Logo for a long time has been...
with all this your, 18th century question. Anyway, did you hear earlier? Hyacinth, it just confirmed that the terrorists not only just kill and chase people away, they take their lands. It is only the Fulanis, right, that will enter anywhere, especially from the middle belt of Nigeria down to the southern part of Nigeria, right? They will enter anywhere and they will take the land. I'm talking about the deeper jungle, where you call deeper jungle. They are everywhere. Then from that land, they will build camp. From there, they will move into the nearest settlement or nearest communities. Ransack them, attack them needlessly, shoot, kill them, and all that. Now, the fact that a state governor just confirmed that is enough to tell you that Nigeria is a failed place. These guys have destroyed that contraption, and they are not done. It seems like they are not done. They are enjoying destroying the place and giving excuses. The governor said it's about land grabbing. That means the Fulani terrorists have succeeded. They have successfully grabbed as many land as possible so far in Benue State. It says something about them going into planting, and the attacks will just subside. It will just go down. Then when it is time for them to harvest, the attacks will begin again, will resume, in which some of their farm produce will be destroyed. This one is for those ones who have cows and guns. And there are others who actually have guns and bikes. So the collection of the different species of terrorists in Nigeria, in Benue State, as told by the governor of Benue State, they are clear recipe. Is that recipe for disaster? No, disaster is already here. Whatever it is that is claiming the lives of the people, enough that somebody that is collecting hundreds of millions of naira as security votes is unable to protect his own people to some extent that also, to those of you that your criminal politicians are going to tell you that they are decamping to APC because they wanted to take you to the center and get protected by the center and benefit from the center. Benue State is APC state, Al-Qaeda People's Congress. Now, the Benue people, or should I say the people who are trapped in the terror-prone areas, 9 local government areas of Benue State, women, children, elderly, rich, poor, young, old, able-bodied, disabled, and the rest of them, all trapped in a single place. And their governor and your president can't do anything because they won't do, or should I say, won't do anything. Not that they can't, they can. It's just that they won't. It's different between can't, and won't. Oh, sorry, can't and won't. I figured that out later in life, right? It's different. Many differences, right? But they are going to tell you that the reason why they are going to go and join the APC is because, they want to get protection from the center. You don't get any goddamn protection from anywhere. Listen to this lady.
A 7-year-old boy named Nenchi Stephen survived a massacre in Plateau State last week. His father was shot dead. His mother's arms were chopped off. His siblings were beheaded. And he too was struck, slashed in the neck, but he survived. Over 56 people were killed that day. Over 5,000 are now displaced, cramped into churches, yet silence. No religion promotes any sort of violence, talk less of killing. This is pure evil. This is pure evil. And we need to stand against it collectively as rational human beings. Condemnation must be collective. And silence is complicity. In Nigeria, we keep quiet. We keep quiet until it affects us. We keep quiet until it comes knocking at our doorsteps. We adapt, we don't act until it concerns us, and we can't keep waiting for that to happen. So let's call them what they are. They are murderers. They are killing for fun. they are worse than terrorists. They are psychopaths. But disarm them, arrest them, give justice to the victims, and give healing to the survivors. Nigeria survived, but Nigeria won't until we all speak up. This is not about religion, it's about humanity.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Either you believe it or not.
Thank you, Media. The campaign of terror in the middle belt part of Nigeria, in northern part of Nigeria, politically sponsored, by the way, you remember that, all of this. Both internal and external influences, right? All for control, for power, fear, subjugation, kind of like, and then you have people who give themselves all kinds of a protection, right? From who? Then they leave their people vulnerably in the hands of these murderers. Then they can put up all this, their fake tears or care, like this Alia guy. I just see somebody who is just lamenting, and then millions of people in Benue State think this is their governor. Their governor is calling on their president, and their president is calling on Macron, and Macron maybe just don't give a SHIT. Right? Here is Alia again on a rise on the same issue.
The point I was trying to establish here is the fact that most part of the states were under attacks. We had 17 local governments that were badly under attacks. When we came in the last 1 year, 9 months, we fought this to 9 local governments that we are now heavily under attacks. As I speak, we have 6 local governments that are under attacks. And these include Apagatu, Logo, Ukum, Katsina Ala, and then Kwande. What we experience is the armed headers coming. Before now, they could just come with their herds. The Fulanis will come with their herds, and then to the isolated local governments, move through, and then do the attacks. The people settle down. What we had somewhat less killings. What we have as a new face of these attacks is the fact that the people who are attacking us now, plus the headers, armed headers, are not just coming with any herds at all. They don't come with cows. Rather, they come fully armed with their AK-47 and AK-49. They come in alone, wear one dress, and they can stay in the bushes as long as they can until they do the attacks, and then they disappear. After a week or two, then they come in now, there are folks coming now to occupy those spaces. If you go to Kasinala local government, in most part of Ukum local government, this is the occupation that is made. If you now come to Gwe West local government, it's even worse. Now, here's the thing. These attacks are deliberate. You move to Zone C now, where I speak about Apa Agatu. The attacks were also very vehement. Of late, Otukpo local government is also included. But what we experience in Otukpo is the kidnapping, and then we write very large sums of ransom attached to that and all that. These attacks are very deliberate. These are calculated. They come in, attack, fully with the intent of killing, and then the point.
Nuisance lele.
It is smoke Igbo. It is taking Indian.
Very, very anyhow person. I mean, we all know that the state governors do not really control the military or the police. Baba, your state is under attack. Your people are being slaughtered. Ransoms are being collected. Their livelihood are being destroyed. Their farms are being destroyed. What other excuse do you need? You are collecting over 400 million naira every month, though, for security votes in Benue State. Do you know that? 474 million. 474 million naira security votes. They will withdraw the money. Call this pot-bellied, uniform-wearing terrorists in a state. They are chiefs. Give them some of the money. They will say they are doing security meetings, security reports. And that's it. But you know what, let's say 1 month security vote can do? I mean, something you can attempt enough that the whole Benue State can know if an order comes from Abuja to come and disrupt your effort in tackling this. Thiefnubu and his gang, the other day, Dani Bulaba was on TVC. And it was there, right? Kind of like pushing the agenda, like pushing the idea of to combat insecurity, right? The state governors should go on and buy more vehicles for the police, for patrol. And that's what they do, which is also like, but just imagine what 400 million naira can do in Benue State in tackling these terrorists, if this guy is actually sure. The first thing is, if you can invest just 50 million naira on a very powerful drone, on powerful drones, this time around, so first, like he said, they will kill people in these local government areas, right? Or that local government area. They will take over their lands. So do you actually have those locations? Do you, I mean, Nigeria no who get they no who get any human being anymore within that space of power in that contraption. A state governor don't buy like over 400 million naira every month. That's not a cheap money. That's a lot of money. I mean now 4.9 to like almost 5 billion naira a year. That's a lot of money. But imagine if you just invest a fraction of that, okay, in which you acquire enough, gadget that can actually capture where they are. Then you recruit and arm, even if not just 2,000 special, 2,000 too much. With that kind of money, recruit just 1,000 special up. Nobody needs to know about them, for God's sake. With that kind of money, your people are being killed, slaughtered. You are there calling on Thiefnubu, calling on others who intentionally, they have accommodated, the system has intentionally accommodated these murderers. There's nobody who has the spine, the political spine to stand up to them. But your people are being bled. They are being slaughtered like this. And you have this money, but special up, 1,000 of them, with special ammunition training and the rest of that. Special up, with all the collected data. Now, one by one, you will take out all of their camp from Benue State. They won't come there anymore. Although that, if to say Nigeria is a real place where you have the true federalism, that won't be necessary. Because what I mean is that people will defend themselves. They would have put together legislations and all the rest of that defends their territories. If you have their true federalism, or better still, if everybody goes their separate ways. If all of us go our separate ways, it would be your duty to defend your country against any invader or invaders. Just think of it. All of these states where they are having all these killings and all that. And this is just me trying to kind of like, well, you tell me what I just said now is not possible. It's impossible. Can you tell me that no, what you said is impossible? It's not impossible. It is just that they don't have the political will to do it. And then the people would have to suffer for it. I mean, what do you think? We are talking about the killings in Bokos, in Bassa, and so many other areas in Plateau State. Oh, there's a place called Mangu. In Plateau State, they've killed them severally. There are videos of all the, oh God. You know what? The video I'm about to share with you is not in English, but I can tell you what this mofo is saying. So there's a report that in retaliation after the attack on Mangu, some people put it on them, take it upon themselves to go after the Fulanis and their cows. They killed 20, right? Then the government kind of like intervened and decided to probably settle them. The people of Mangu are now saying they don't want to see Fulani again. They don't want them in their area anymore. And the Fulanis are now protesting to say they are warning the people to be very careful of what they are saying, because they are not leaving Mangu in Plateau State. Why? Because their forefathers, he actually said that their own grandparents settled on the lands that they currently call their own. But like you just waka, you enter one place and you settle there. You know, like all these storybooks, right? This history. Ide waka. He became thirsty. He asked the oracle, where can he see water? Oracle said, now this place where you are is going to be your land. Now, use this your leg to scratch, and then to scratch the ground, and water will come out. That's how we became the Yakutupa people. So we, the people of Yakutupa, were coming. Our ancestors were coming. They are coming. They just got to a place. Just said, "Oh yeah, here. Now here you go stay," and that's how the land became theirs. Baba Fulani is playing that card in 2025, and I'm not joking. They are telling the people of Mangu that they are going nowhere because their ancestors settled on the land. Who sold the land to your ancestors? Who? No, nobody sold the land to our ancestors. Our forefathers just said, your forefather, since when? It's over 20 years ago. 20 years ago, God, that means it was after this your fake democracy, Abi. So your ancestors came around in year 2000. And they don't become the owner of land in Mangu. This is what Nigeria means for those who want to find out. Settlers are now warning the indigenous people, or else the war.
Kuzama jarbanga mu dai ba mu ce ku doki doka a hannu ba, amma akan wannan abin da ya faru muna roko kamar yanda muke tare da gwamnati. Ai an yi na biyu ne ko na uku a bangaren fushi shanu kusan 30. Fulani ana kuka, ai nan ma ba jama'a. Ana kuka da hawaye, muka hana su, muka ce ku yi mana biyayya. Sun yi biyayya, mun kai kukanmu ga gwamnati. Ranka daɗe mun gode. Ga wanda ya mana jagora. An ce ba za a iya biya mu ba, amma za a share mana hawaye. To ranka daɗe yau hawaye mu ya zo gwiwa. Muna so dan Allah dan Annabi. Akwai zaman da muka yi da kai. Kafin ka shiga kai zama da gwamna, mun ce ka gaya ma gwamna mu fa Fulani sa ne. Kuma ya sani fa jihar Plateau fa ya kamata Mangu ta zauna lafiya don gidansa ne. Kuma ya fara turban zaman lafiya a Mangu. Wannan abin mun zo na kai ka san irin abubuwan da muka yi da kai, kuma na san ka isar da sakonmu a gaban gwamna. So muna roko wannan sakon mu ya isa gaban gwamna. Yau in mun ce mu ma za mu yi kaman sauran kananan hukumomi, in an kashe saniya mu bi mutane mu kashe fa, ya kasan za ta zauna. So don Allah ina yi wannan maganan, musamman in akwai shugaban matasa na Magabul, ku ce masu fa don Allah su sa ido. Idan akwai wayansu miyagun da sun zo sun shiga a cikin ku, suka aikata wannan abin don su haddasa mana fitina. Kamar yadda mu ma muna yi a area mu. Ba mu yadda wani bakon Fulani ya shiga cikin mu ba. Mu mun san kanmu ta wannan axis din, to kuma muna son ku iri wannan darasin dan Allah. Domin ana ba mu report. Akwai bakin da suke shigo nan kasa. Kuma akwai wanda sun yi hasari a mota, kuma baki ne, kuma za a kawo su Mangu ne. Mun samu wannan report din. To amma mu muna dogara da Allah ne. Ba mu da wata kasa daga Mangu sai Najeriya. Kuma a mitin a gaban GOC na ce, dole ne Fulani Mangu mu zauna tare. Dole ne, wallahi Magabul ba su isa su kore mu a kasan Mangu ba. Mu ma ba mu isa mu kore su ba. In sun ce za su kore mu ne sai dai mu rasa kasa. Ya gaskiyan kenan. Tunda iyayenmu kakani da kakani ana aka haife su. Ba mu san wani guri ba. To amma wannan caman kai hakuri. Watakila gwamnati ne ya shiga ciki. Mun yi wannan bayanin ranka daɗe. Kuma mun faɗa a mitin mai girma gwamna gaskiya ya faɗi gaskiya ne. Amma gaskiyan da mai girma gwamna ya faɗa sai wayan su ɗan siyasa a kasan Magabul sai sun yi amfani da shi su sake dawo mata gwamna fitina. Gwamna ya fito a TV ya ce satan shanu collaboration ne. Akwai kabilan Magabul, akwai kabilan Birom, akwai Angas, akwai ma Fulani. Tsakani da Allah ƙarya ne? Faɗan haka, mu muna cikin kasan kunnen mu a buɗe sai suna ce, okay, an bidi gwamnarin sad mine, so yaksu muna wad mu mine, so yanzu ne gwamna zai ga satan shanu a Mangu. Wannan magana mun ji shi kuma na gaya maka magana mun fasa shi. Sai gashi nan an fito in bol sama da mutum 30 an zo attack shanu. Amarish. Kaga wannan in sata ne mutum 2 ne ko 3 ne za su zo su yi sata. Amma mutum sun zo sama da 30 me wannan? Attack ne.
Madam, yeah. It is to let them know that the Fulanis in Mangu Dole ni, that means they are not going anywhere. But don't forget, that is one of the cow owners whose cows were killed by angry people or whose relatives and loved ones were killed. So they blame them. But they are not indigenous to Mangu. They chose to settle on a land in Mangu. Nobody challenged them, or maybe they did challenge them and they shot at them. There you are. The settlers telling the indigenous people that they are going nowhere. They have come to stay in Mangu. So the next thing you are going to see will be calling the people of Mangu and this Fulani for peace meeting. You know what? You are community. Let's everybody come together. But you won't see anybody from Mangu in Plateau State, right? Shooting and killing their people in far away Sokoto. Demanding for land. Nobody does that. They do it. I mean, it's their own doing. Yeah? Can somebody help me knock a spanner on the head of that? There's one mofo in the comments, especially on YouTube, okay? Yeah, there's one that is AB or something. Yeah. I read a comment where he said that I'm doing everything to distract all of you from Thiefnubu's tribalism and bigotry. I saw it. I just want him to know I did see that comment, okay? I won't really respond to it because I want somebody to help me knock you spanner. And I mean not temporarily, permanently. You can do that. Africa Wala or the director's court. Did you see that comment, right? Yeah. Me seated here trying to distract all of you from Thiefnubu's bigotry. Can you imagine? Yeah? And somebody sat there in their dinghy and they commented that on Mayegun's diary political. Do you see why I've been using my brunch time to expose the the deep, what you call the deep tribalism, the deep bigotry, which is in you, Nigerians. It doesn't matter whether you are from Igbo land or you are from Yoruba land. We do have all of you bigoted demorphos, proportionally distributed in that contraption. So please don't fly that kite again, okay? You won't, by the way. So I hope that is taken care of. Thank you. You can possibly call me anything, abuse me and all that, okay? But in your life, don't ever, ever assume or imagine that I, Mayegun, would have anything positive at all to say about Thiefnubu, not to talk of actually sit here to try to convince you to think to say, to kind of see him, you know, like from where to where. So it was like 2 kids who were abusing themselves. Your papa shot, your mama, your papa get pot belly, your papa na poor man, you know, your papa, they are abusing themselves. So he got to his teacher and said, your papa na Tinubu, and so the small boy, burst into tears. And people were like, why? It was like, you can compare my father with anything and all of that, I don't mind. But in your life, don't ever compare my father to Thiefnubu, because you don't understand and I'm not going to explain. So that's the same for me. You won't understand if you choose not to. People will do, right? Thank you. His name is AB, right? Nispana. I don't want to see him here anymore. Anyway, you see that guy? That is the reality of so many indigenous people who have to deal with the Fulanis. It's unfortunate that the system kind of allowed this to last long, because, I mean, you can't be a settler. Yeah, even if you are like you're Nigerian, you can't be a settler somewhere without anybody, even if they sold you lands and all of that stuff. Sure, you get to some extent, okay, you can't go, you know, like shoulder to shoulder with the indigenous people that you are. But this Fulani's audacity is on a different level, I have to admit, you know. And it's such a great confidence for them that this Nigerian government was trying to reset to them, give them ranches. Thiefnubu has created a ministry for them as we speak, but none of that is ever going to stop the dominance campaign or the dominance sort of you know, advancement of the so imagine a Fulani group in some forest in Yoruba land come out and tell me, I could see peace now. You know what I'm talking about? There will not be any peace. But it is what it is. I'm not talking about peace. You will think, well, the Nigerian military, right, who are actually like trained to defend us, are also endangered because of a compromised system, a compromised military, put the lives of an average soldier in danger. That's how corrupt the system is in Nigeria, that you do have to really, really be so lucky, because it's luck. I don't think it's prayer, because you can't say those who have become victims are not praying. You know what I mean? It's luck that you do not become the direct victim of this compromised system. But for this soldier, he has a message. Listen.
Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening to men of goodwill and conscience, and all lovers of justice, fair play, and equity. The purpose of this very video will not be lost on anybody, but it's because of the case of injustice that I passed through, and they forced it upon me, you know, to do what I am not supposed to do, because they wanted to cover that very injustice. But before I go on with this very video, I would like to observe a minute silence for the departed Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja. May his soul rest in peace. Now, I am Godson by name. I'm an ex-boy, NMS 94. I passed out in the year 2000, and I was posted in that same year 2000 as a military police with my army number 00NA/94/1198. Now, to cut the long story short, I do not want to start taking your time unnecessarily, start going down memory lane. I have to go straight to the point of what has necessitated me to do this very video, so that it will not bore my audience and viewers. It was in the year January 2020 at 9th Brigade Provost Company, Keja Cantonment, under the leadership of our officer commanding, now retired, Captain B.A. Lawal. Captain B.A. Lawal was my OC then. As soon as he took over command in January, on January 15th, there about 2020, I approached him telling him that I want to apply for the second time for voluntary discharge. to leave the army voluntarily, which is according to Section 32 of the Armed Forces Act, Cap 820, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, which is my right. He now tried discouraging me as an officer that he is, that why do I want to leave the army? Army offers prospect. I said, no prospect. That's then that I was running my masters. I'm left with my proposal defense, internal defense, external defense, and they just brought me back, punished me for nothing. Nobody wrote to the Nigerian Defense Academy, which is a military top institution in Kaduna where I started the masters. I was let from this same office on 2017 to start the masters like other ex-boys. Seun Kolawole, Kazim Hassan retired, Were Aprezi and the rest. None of us were sponsored, none of them were disturbed. In fact, some even did their own abroad. They came, punished them and left them. None of them passed through all the indecency, indignities, wickedness, evil they made me to pass through. So when I told Lawa refused that he's not going to sign my voluntary discharge and thereabout, that even him too, he is frustrated, he's about leaving the army, he has failed captain to major several times, and they've served him paper twice. And I said, sir, this is the reason why you should help me, that my promotion is not coming. I've been on the rank of corporal for long. When my mates and the officers cadre were lieutenant colonel, my mates in this other rank cadre were sergeants, and they pinned me down in one rank. And secondly, sir, my father was very, very sick. I needed to just go so that from taking care of him, since he trained us alone, I would be able to like face other challenges like continuing my education and furthering other callings I have in life. Lawa refused. My uncle had to come. My uncle stepped into the whole matter based on my father's prompting, gave Lawa money. Lawa collected money from him. That day I was on duty at Arena. He came, collected money. That was when he now told me to write the voluntary, which I submitted, dated 22nd of January 2020. He promised to forward it, which is in 6 months' time, around June, July, my name will come out. Before then, after then, he accepted my application that he will process it, that he's going to send it to 9 Brigade, Garrison, or whatever, so that they will come onward to Abuja. I left it at that. When they reopened institutions after the coronavirus, I approached him. He released me to go to NDA. He released me to go and complete my studies, not to start a fresh studies, which I did promptly. I went to NDA, Kaduna, which is a military institution, which is a sister institution that they can easily write to withdraw me, or they can send the military police to arrest me in case I didn't go legally the way they were claiming. But all of a sudden, Lawa said if I should go, my uncle should call him, since he was in the United States. He was not in America. He was not in Nigeria. He's working for Lawi or he come in Nigeria Wiki. So along the line, Lawa didn't get the money or the call he wanted. He booked me on a wall. But nobody called me before booking me on a wall as the procedure requires. Not even the chief clerk, as they lied in their report in the board of inquiry. They lied in the board of inquiry that warrant officer Doris Oswagu, she's a master warrant officer, now called me. And she was not even the one that was the chief clerk then. Nobody called me based on their award procedure. They went ahead, booked me on a wall, and nobody called me. I thought everything was going on fine. When I consulted them, they said it's not from the office. That's the whole thing. They don't even know. So along the line, let me cut the story. Let me not go too long, because the whole thing is so long and lengthy that I've written it in several applications based on section 147, subsection 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Armed Forces Act. I've written all these things. I've spent more than 500,000, if not more, than going to Abuja, printing, doing everything. Along the line, I came back in 2022. February 21st, Monday, February 21st, 2022, from school. And as soon as I came, they said they had changed Lawa in October 2021, some few months before then. They are changing because of his corrupt acts, illegalities that they call in army Kelebe. Lawa is a one-eyed captain, an officer. Everybody know him. He's a notorious man in military police. Even as an OC, he frolics with all these G boys. They call Yahoo boys. Everybody know he doesn't have even a good record in the army. This is the same character that booked. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening to me.
No worries. No good evening us anymore. That's somebody's story. Somebody who didn't get killed while trying to do the job of the political criminals that hired him as a soldier. And then Nigeria happened to him. Right? Now, let's leave that. You know, let's leave that for now. And touch this story of a pulpit bandit. His name is Ibiyomi or something. is based in Port Harcourt. Before today, I did a program a while back in one of my random analogies and all of that, right? And I said, there is something about, the elites, or should I say the rich people, when it comes to dealing with the poor people. There's something about being poor. That's the point. Something being about being poor. You are blamed for almost everything. You are a suspect, even when you have done nothing wrong. You see, when you are in the midst of those who are like well-to, like rich people, a poor man is a suspect if something goes missing. You know that. So there is this animosity, this kind of like a disdain that people have for the poor people. But whenever it is very convenient for the face saving, they can begin to give a charity to the poor people, because on that part, so that's not free. Some of them believe that if you give poor people, if you give them this or that, they are going to be, you're going to get a reward from God for helping the poor people. But when you look at the political class, the elite and the rest of them, and the way Nigeria is currently, like the way Nigeria is, it shouldn't be too difficult for you to see that being poor and the stigmatization that comes with it, they're like enough to let you know that Nigerian criminals actually hate the poor people very much. And I'm not even just using the political class now. I'm using all your criminal elites. You know what I mean? They actually hate the poor people. So when you see all the prosperity merchants, the pastorpreneurs in Nigeria, they tend to be promising almost everyone that they will take them out of poverty by the grace of the Holy Spirit, this and that, right? But one of them seems to be changing the rules now, okay? Because it's like the prosperity itself that these guys have to share is also for some certain people, not for some certain people. Because why would suppose the pastor, right? Why would a pastor tell his own audience or his own church that Jesus hates the poor people? Jesus hates poverty. Jesus hates the poor people. I'm not a religious person, but I think that's a blasphemy. And there's no, there's no law that's this, this businessmen, this pulpit bandit, I call them, or pastorpreneurs. There's no law that they can really go in their efforts to squeeze out money. Then demonized poverty. I don't understand that. He's got people defending him more. But when I caught this, I was like, that's strange. I thought they said Jesus was like for the poor people, fed the poor, he visited the poor. He said, no, Jesus never visited the poor. I was like, okay. That must be another story, right? Or another Bible. The Genesis.
If I tell something, it will baffle you. Jesus never visited any poor person in the house. Read your Bible. That means he hates poverty. Check. He visited Lazarus. They were not poor. They were giving him food. He visited a sinner called Zacchaeus, who was rich. Tell me one poor man Jesus entered his house. He hates poverty. That's the meaning. He hates people who are poor. He wants to bring you. He died for you not to be poor. So how can you now come into a church, have that kind of mentality? You can come poor, but you're not permitted to remain poor. Nothing wrong you coming to Christ as a poor man, but it's wrong for you to remain what? It is wrong.
Nuisance, Lele.
And people sat there. You won't believe it that these men, they are like very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. When I say powerful, I'm talking about people who are so influential, right? That educated people, they don't reason well around them. They don't even reason at all. You are educated. That means, like successful, right? then you sit in front of a charlatan like that, who decided to just twist whatever, I mean, what is called the Bible, right? Twist it into whatever suits his agenda. But it is so ridiculous as well. Like, even all of us, some of us who are not religious like this kind of believe that Jesus lived so moderately, like he lived so moderate enough that he shared everything that he had. Healed this from the Bible, don't get me wrong, from the Bible. Healed the sick free of charge, fed the poor free of charge, visited the poor, not seeing himself as too important and all that. It was I don't want to say ordinary, because now something they make some of you religious people. They're just better off than the Mohammedan. The Mohammedan and those sons be like, you insulted our Muhammad, Fatu, we're going to kill you, kind of. But the rest of you will just ask your God to deal with me because I didn't use the right word. Anyway, I'm just being mindful. I'll share you get, but that was so blasphemous. All because you want to squeeze their naira, their dollars from their pockets. So to be poor now, self, sin. You are allowed to come in poor. You are not allowed to remain poor. So what did they call the share for the church? Like, it's a business center that all of us who comes in, there's no blessing. So if I go there, if I become rich within a certain period, right, I should stop coming because Jesus hates the poor. Like, why would you even say that? Then he doubled down. After the social media reacted to it. Well, a few days after, he called this congregation again to explain to them what he meant, only to make it even worse. But he doubled down. Typical.
Person called me and said, the internet is on fire. I said, what is on fire? I don't even know what's on fire. I'm not interested, but I'm for curiosity. I said, Holy Spirit, if I'm wrong, tell me, and I will never say I'm right when I'm wrong. He was dictating God's word to me verbatim in the bedroom. He said, you are not wrong, you're right. I said, how? He said, listen. And he began to break down scriptures. He said, I became sin for humanity. True? I said, yes. He said, you became sin. So that's why we must not. Do you like sin? I said, no. He said, why is that Christian says sin? I said, yes. He said, can you be a friend to a sinner? He said, no. He said, you can only lead people to Christ, but you cannot be a friend to a sinner. Is that not true? Yes. He quoted Bible scriptures to me. And he said, don't sit in the council of the ungodly. We say so. Is that not true? He said, if a believer is mixing with sinners, I think you say, why is this man doing with the sinners? Do you say, don't you say so? I think you say so. You say, why can't this man lead people to Christ? You can, he said, give them the gospel. You say, why this man, why is he mixing with sinners? Everybody gets angry when a believer is mixing with sinners. He said, so also when a believer mixes with the poor, people should be angry. Ask, he said, I was made poor that you might be rich. So poverty is not of me. He said, you can help the poor, but not associate with the poor. He said, because if you do that, you are saying, my death and resurrection is in vain. I died that you can come out of poverty. So, you should not be, now listen carefully. Do you like to stay with the sick? Do you like to stay with the sick? You don't like to stay with the sick? Why? Jesus became health for you. True? So, do you like to stay with the poor? He became poor that you might what? You can help the poor. That you don't have money does not mean you are poor. Poverty is mentality. So on this, look, and he gave me scriptures upon scriptures upon scriptures. They say it's ignorance that makes people to believe that you should stay with the poor. No, I paid the price for you to be out of poverty. I paid the price for sin. I paid the price for poverty. I paid the price for sickness. So to accept any of them is an anathema. Why must you reject sin and accept poverty? Who paid the price for poverty? Who paid the price for sin? Do you hate sin? Do you hate sin? Why don't you hate poverty? The gospel of the Bible, the part you accept is the part that benefits you. The same way you hate sin, hate poverty, and hate sickness. Now these three things, to those who hate it in line with God's word, they will never be identified with you. You get it?
If you don't get it, forget about it.
It's as simple as that. Alaye, I double down. Yeah. Holy Spirit was quoting verbatim, right? Holy Spirit was quoting the verses for him. Bros. So Holy Spirit now, man, which is good. Now the thing say now, like, you know, like Holy Spirit should be like genderless, because, you know, according to the religious book, God created man, woman, stuff like that. Abi? So the angels are not like man, woman, no. Even though a man name all of them they bear. Are the oath itself. Anyway, so Holy Spirit, they kind of like chat with him and say, you are not wrong, go. Alaye now said, the poverty he's talking about is poverty of the mind. Hey, Mama, you the mad. The majority of them who are in his church, who are already battling their own poverty war, right? They quickly clap and say, thank God. Thank God, I'm not one of them. Thank God. It's like, I am rich. I am rich in heart. I am rich in Holy Spirit. I am rich in Jesus' name and all of that stuff. But Nalayo, half of them every morning, you they feel me? Shege will wake them up and say, hey, stand up, wake up. 7 o'clock. Wake up. Now, listen, this is my plan for the day. Listen, I saw Shege, they wake Nigerians up. For real. Do you think people who rush to churches are doing so because they love God in Nigeria? I'm not saying all of them. So do you actually really believe that Nigerians going to churches and the rest of that, do you think it's because they love God or they want to go to one heaven? Sure. Majority of them, they are transactional. So yeah, we teach you close your eyes. What do you want God to do for you? Now then you go to hear the reason why some of them are in the church or in the mosque. That's when you get to that. I thought we are here to pray to God as part of it. Benny, I'm here to collect something from God, you know. Do you understand? So Nigerians don't go to churches because they actually really love that God that much. Let that country start working fine. Like, for real. People will still go to church because, like, you know, some people are like that. They will still interact with their God, but you will be so surprised at the number of, you know, some of those churches that will turn to, I don't know, maybe just warehouses that they were before they were turned to these commercial centers. Yeah. So in the process, they're like, okay, you know, like I said, Shege will sit everybody down in Nigeria every morning. We're going to tell them how he's going to deal with them that day. Nigerians, you know, like, they say, you need my talk gone. I said, how do you know? So Shege don't tell me this morning, because I did go Lagos Island. And as I did so, now 500 naira did my hand. And I no chop last night. Now from here to Lagos Island, now about 1,300 naira. So I'm thinking maybe I should walk from Ojota to Fadeyi, buy 15 naira pure water, drink some from Fadeyi, straight to Jibo, Yaba, and all of that. They see down the plan money because now waiting Shege told him to do be that day, every day. That's for Nigerian. That's, you know. Then it was okay. So if I walk that one, then I'll just take downfall 600 from this place to that place. And I will walk again another 4 or 5 kilometers. Oh, sorry, 15 kilometers. And then I will just take Okada, Okada to the estate. So I'll come down at the gates. So that's what I'm trying to think. What do you want to go do for Island? I'm going there to go and collect the balance of the whole meaning. You know, that kind of like hard life. Sure you get. So that's what Shege does. So when you now go to their churches, then they have to promise you that your life will be better. Don't worry. Out of people that are suffering, you will be favored. Amen. You will feed your people in your area, hungry people will not get there. Now you go to feed them. Amen. So yeah, you need to now transact with God. Don't they give God 100 naira. If you are looking for a miracle of 1 million, how much are you supposed to give God? 100,000. Exactly. So you should know if you pay well. This is how they scheme them. So telling you that the poverty is about the poverty of the mind, now scope. Jesus loved the poor. And in fact, the reason why majority refused to fight their criminal government is because somebody somewhere wearing a cassock and suit, I'll be wearing cassock and gown, or wear with the bedsheet on his head somewhere, I told some people that their miracle is on the way. And since they are expecting miracle from God, they have so and so and so and so. So they are expecting miracle from God. You are now asking them to come and protest bad governance. May soldier can't shoot them. May they come miss their miracle that is on the way. Do you see it now? Using that same, religion to keep them in control and in check. So BEO may have his own customers. They're everywhere explaining to the rest of us who don't understand what the Holy Spirit told him. But yeah, those are the ones who are very poor, they are very poor in cash, but they are very rich in mind, poverty of the mind. Anyway, like I said, it's just on the way among other stuff, funny stuff happening in that contraption. A lady posted a video. She was moving from Ikorodu and going to Lekki, right? And so we are finished. It's that boat in the middle of the ocean. It's not a big water in the middle of the big body. Water body, right? So they had to go. They had to wait because they had to wait for another canoe to bring fuel. In Nigeria, for fair enough, they all had the life jackets, by the way, or some of them.
Fuel. There's no fuel, yeah. I only want pay number or don't pay number one law. So I don't know the thing. On a guy.
Mama, where live my waist and risky life. Olè wà láàrin omi ṣe ṣe lè kó wà láàrin omi. Wa wo ri ṣako pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo.
So talk to them problem you're asking is talking.
Don't want to malagidi òṣì. Mama wo mọ́tò báyìí ṣe má ti rí pé máa yin ni mí ní máa wọ mọ́tò ẹ̀. Ó dà pé wà wèrè ẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù ẹnu ẹ̀ ti máa ń kún jù. Èèyàn ti fẹ́ bọ́lẹ̀ ní báyìí.
Now grandma sale ko yẹn now.
Nbona ti fẹ́ ṣáwọn yẹn rí yàn ńbẹ̀ yẹn ni.
Ìgbà kan náà wò wá ló kọ mọ́.
Àbọ̀n ti àwèrè. Wọ́n ṣe gbé po wá fún wa. Ẹ ṣàrọ̀ra o. Rédèrèdè. Wọ́n ti ní kó tó dà látẹ̀ kan kò yá. Eré yẹn tẹ̀ ti máa ń pọ̀ jù sí.
Olúwa ṣeun. Rọ sí kẹtó tú o.
Ẹ má ti tú o. Ṣáàbìmú ná.
Ṣé kéde ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan start yẹn?
Má dáhùn.
We're poor Nigeria go. You will be, the guy, the canoe driver, right? What we go call him now? Captain Abikabakwe. He knew that he had no fuel in that is a Yamaha attached engine to that wooden canoe. He got everybody on board, collected their money, and then they got into the middle of the ocean. He told them that the fuel had finished. They all had to wait for him to call those who can bring fuel to the middle of the ocean. But if anybody feels like they can't wait, they can come down and just continue their journey, kind of. So you have to wait. Everybody have to wait. Like, okay, Niger. Yesterday, the governor from his name is Bago, by the way, is the Niger State governor. He made a declaration by calling on the security agents to start arresting anybody wearing dreadlocks. Ridiculous. He's trying to fight insecurity. So to combat insecurity in his state, he decided to start profiling the people, but that backfired. Because today, he had made a U-turn. Is that what it was? Yeah, U-turn. He's made a U-turn by saying, no, if you are wearing dreadlock and you have business, you can come and invest in Niger State. What did he smoke yesterday?
Yesterday, we read a riot act on hooliganism, and people misconstrued our words for people who have dreadlocks. We don't have problem with dreadlocks, but we have problem with the cult here with dreadlocks. So if you have dreadlocks and you have business, please come to Niger State. All that is a media propaganda. We are not driving dreadlocks from Niger State. We are only driving that cult that is becoming a menace in Niger State. Thank you and God bless.
Nuisance, Lele.
Users equal everywhere, man. No doubt. You know? So if you have dread, you can go to Niger State to go and invest. I mean, if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand it, they know explain it better. They know explain anything to you. It's probably just told you the fancy things you want to hear, and they're like, that's such a great culture. No, it's not. It is a place where, according to some people, whenever God is bored, like Netflix, he picks up the remote or call Angel Gabriel, and Tonsi Comedy. And that's when he will begin to watch Nigeria. You know? A driver went into a fisticuff with the road safety corps members, right? Corps members, they call them corps members. So they had these exchanges, right? And one thing is the Nigeria, what do you call them again? No? FRSC, right? Federal Road Safety Corps, right? Okay, FRSC. Their job is to see to the sort of like, legalized way of using the road. Their job is to ensure that the road users are safe, following the road rules, and vehicles are also safe. And in the absence of any of that, their job is to take out any problematic sort of like a vehicle or driver out of the road, so that not to endanger the lives of the other road users, right? So similar thing happened there today, but the only difference is that it didn't end well, So the FRSC guys chased the guy, cornered him, then intended to impound his car, because according to them, right, the tire thread or so for the car was like worn out, so he shouldn't be driving the car. Then the guy took his camera to go and record the kind of vehicle that the FRSC guys actually chased him with. But if you see the tire, right, you just be like, except these people have death wish. Nobody should be driving in that. So the guy who they stopped is claiming that the FRSC guys are guilty of what they are trying to punish him for. And then this happened. Nigeria knew, and I bet, right, those who said Nigeria is God's or is heaven's comedy channel. It'll be everything funny, sure you get. But just imagine if you are God and you are looking at this, go laugh. Say, oh my shame, let me create these people too.
See person where they complain about my tire, see tire. Okay. See your tire. They see your tire. As they write the fine for me, you go write the fine for yourself. As they write down for me, see your own tire here. See them. They see them. I didn't go. I don't get energy for while, but it's big while I get energy for I dey go on my own. You say make I pass. Oh yeah, why you say make I pack? I shall.
Kò yé mi ò bóyá olórí burúkú wọn kàn ná ẹni ẹlẹ́ni ṣá.
Wọ́n á ti yọ gíláàsì rẹ̀ yẹn.
Tírọ́ọ̀kì burúkú yìí kúrò ńbẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé wọnú ọ́fíìsì wọn wọ́n ti fẹ́ lọ máa ná o. Mo ní wọ́n ti ń ná láti bí náà. Mi ìkọ̀ ètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ fídíò yẹn ni wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbé mọ́tò ẹ̀.
Kéèkì ẹ̀ mú wọn báyìí. Ó kámẹ́rà wọn báyìí.
Ó gbé wọn gbé. Ó gbé wọn gbé.
Ṣé máa wọ́n wọlé àbòsí dídú yìí?
Wọ́n gba etí ẹ̀ wọ́n gba fóònù ẹ̀.
Kéèkì ní ìhà rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Nínú ọ́fíìsì wọn.
Kò lè rí inú ọ́fíìsì wọn. Bọ̀ ó gbó wọn ìpátá kò séèyàn tí ò nánú gbogbo wọn kò sí. Kò sílẹ̀ tí ò fọwọ́ kan nú gbogbo wọn. Mọ́tò wọn yẹn ò lè gbé ni. Wọ́n ti mọ̀ fún wọn lọ́sẹ̀ wọ́n ló ti dùn wọ́n ká ayé àbáyé ní ìdí. Wọ́n ti mọ̀ fún wọn lọ́sẹ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ máa lè mọ̀. Ìbọ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba. Foolish set of people. Wọ́n ti gbá kìíní yẹn wọ́n rẹ̀ lè mọ̀. Wọ́n máa ba mọ́tò ẹ̀rù jẹ́ bá.
So they had to take him to their office and give him the beating of his life. Because Nigeria baby, that's what we will tell you. They say, I'll be in Nigeria baby. Because it is only in Nigeria that you can jejely be in a downfall. Thinking about all the troubles in your life that you have to deal with, all this, and then from nowhere, a drama will just start. Somebody is being delivered inside downfall. From evil spirit or from Ogbanjo or wizard spirits. You downfall.
You want to destroy who? I want to destroy them. You want to destroy who? Speak up. You want to destroy who? Who do you want to destroy? Fire out of my body. Who do you want to destroy? You want to destroy your sister? Who do you want to destroy? I want to destroy her. You want to destroy her? Yes. What did he do to you? No, who are you in this body? He's helping people. So much she used to help people. I don't want her to help people again. Who is helping people? She used to help people a lot. She used to help people? Yes, I don't want her to help people. I don't want her to help people again? Yes. That's why you want to destroy her life? Yes. Then why are you here now? Why are you here?
God will punish all your leaders in that place. See what Nigeria leaders did to you. If some of you begin to have a very deep critical thinking, you will see that, man, they're not supposed to go without paying for what they have done to you. No damn for you. Somebody just to get deliverance. Fire in your body. Oh yeah, tell me, what did you do? I don't want that to help anybody anymore. Let's help anybody. Say, damn fool. So that the guy too will be like, I told you, about God, I knew it. Like he will just get like, if it's not scripted, sure you get me now. Like imagine like you get home and just be like, oh my, just see the miracle new. Africa wahala. Holy Spirit, you get? I'd say fire. And so one lady begin to confess what she did to her sister. So I even say I get Holy Spirit with that because I ain't gonna take few. Nigeria, you understand? It is such an unreal place. Even though some will say it is what makes it the place unique. The people are very funny and they are also very dodgy. Very dodgy. A young man made a video, right? He made a video of some block of flats, I believe. And he was using that to compare to the housing problems in that part of Nigeria. Like, people have no homeless people here and there. People can afford to pay, somebody just left all of this here and the rest, right? So he shared the video.
You see the house more than 10 years ago. And all this house, when they build them, you find now, it don't come up for design. You understand? And the person who build this house is a very wicked human being. See, it's still an individual build this house now. By now, government go use tax, one key the owner. Because they say, why you no one rent them? Since why you no one sell and since they go find every means necessary to collect the house from him. You understand? But because of saying a high profile government person, now build this thing, they can't leave them. You say individuals do all this thing, therefore don't come break them. Tell you say can I pass here? Tell you say this place is not well planned. This one, that one. But now them do this one for over 10 years. See the color of the paint, it's still they confirm. But see the color of the zinc, it don't they clean come out. You understand? This country, I don't understand. Who go rescue this country? I don't know who be that to. Whether they never born them or they don't born them. I beg, come out. So my people, now people houses with these individuals. They are the owner of this. So like as I said, some people they very wicked, especially people where they work where don't work for government before, we don't handle one position or another. You see the house? Nobody. They live inside. This house is more than 100 pieces like this, three decking, 3 upstairs. Reduce the price of each of these flats. Maybe rent it at the rate of 1 million for over 10 years ago till now. They no one do them. Then sell this flat maybe 5 million. Then go under 2 hours. This house is done good, but the person no wants. This house they don't build them for more than 10 years ago, and somebody will build them. Now somebody will work.
Bro actually made it his mission to tell all of us, like, can you imagine? Somebody stole government money and they pull all this together. Now he doesn't want to probably be associated with it because who knows, he's not APC. Nigeria is like, man, the way they actually steal money, you would think money is going out of circulation, it's going out of fashion. And they couldn't wait to have their fingers on as many of it as possible. You get? No wonder, because it's the same thing that happened to these people in Abia State. Where Oji Uzo Kalu, Iyinaya Baribe. And you know, they have, no, not Iyinaya, but he was from there, he was deputy to Oji Uzokalu. You know Uzokalu, right? Then he succeeded by Theodore Oji, right? Then after Theodore Oji was Ipeazu, the guy that was giving pregnant women 500 naira after delivery. It's a state policy to empower the new mothers. He gave them 500 naira. To empower the other mothers who are not new mothers. He gave them 5 liters of kerosene. That's how unlucky they have been. So when they have this guy, Alex Otti, it was like a jackpot. It's unbelievable for them because it's like democracy just started with them in 2023 rather than 1999. So when you look at them and see them celebrate some certain things, you'll be like, why are they so joyous? You have no idea. 24 years of low cost, where criminals, right, were in charge of the resources of the state, and it was just a sharing party, sort of. So last year, was it last year? I don't know, was it last year or late in 2023, when Alex Otti flagged off this Port Harcourt Road in Aba, I think it's in Aba or so, right? It was one of the worst of the worst. So, you know, if you still, maybe you have seen videos or pictures of roads that have become so unmotorable enough that in the middle of the road, they have, you know, pile of trash dumped in the middle of the road. I don't know if you remember that. There are some, I should have put the picture. Damn. It would have made much sense, right? But I'm going to go look for it. While I share this with you, as I saw some of them celebrating the completion of the road, that's like a year. And from what we heard, that's more than like 40 kilometers or something, right? Anyway, in Aba or Abia State, I saw some people doing this.
Oti, today, for how many years? Street light. Street light. Street light in Port Harcourt Road. People are very, very excited. Enjoyment. 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 Very long. Very long. People are very, 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 very happy. You hear the vibration of machines. Okay. Hello. You say, Amio.
No vacancy in Abia government house in 2027.
People are very, 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 very happy. People are very, very happy. For many years, nothing like street lights. Nothing like street lights. Look at it. 540 Port Harcourt Road. For many years, nothing like this. Okay. Celebration. 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 Oh, yes, if I demand the raw, hey, I change you by what I kill. For supported, unless you enjoyment. Unless you enjoyment.
Yes.
Before. By 4 o'clock, we will not call them.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Chipakwa again. More power to your elbow. This is just the beginning. See, for how many years? For how many years? What? 24 years.
24 years.
No movement. Okay. Yeah, welcome.
Even though some of you may not understand, like I said, they've suffered, Baba. You have no idea. It has gotten to a stage whereby majority of them are just, when they want to see any new thing to probably fancy, they just go online and see the pictures of other people celebrating the construction of this road or that road. In Abia State, it was like, man, gosh, that was a very, very busy road, a busy commercial road that linked to Port Harcourt by its name, right? Port Harcourt Road. Let me give you an idea what it looks like. Let me show you. That same road is dark. You probably didn't see it clearly. So I have the day picture, okay? Something like this. So on a normal day, right? This is what you are going to see. All right? This is like once you are beginning to get outside but within that same road, a year and a half ago, Baba, Lani Meji Titi. It's what it looked like. So in case if you want to understand why those people are drinking on a just completed road, but never really commissioned, right? This was in the middle of the road. In the middle. You get that now? It is so stretched that this was them a year and a half ago. Okay? So I just thought I should mention it. Then they started this, creating this and that, until they got to this. And then to this. To this. So normally, people are not really asking for too much. It's just that they are bedeviled with the most evil-minded humans you can come across ever. Selfish, self-centered, incompetent as well. That's why I call Nigeria the weapon fashioned against all of us. People want roads, right? If you give them electricity, they will create jobs themselves. Nobody needs the government. They will do things themselves. But because of the greed and corruption that has become a thing in the system, right? So that becomes a very it's like an hardest task, almost impossible, fortunately. So, but let's leave Abia, all right, and make a quick stop in Lagos, where the supposed weather people were protesting. When I say weather, they are called NIMET. They are in charge of the weather for the aviation sector to tell the airlines what the weather says when it is right to fly. And the wind is, like that, that's their job. But they have not been paid well, so they were protesting. They shot tools today. Now there are some airlines in Nigeria who are also canceling their flights. They can't fly blind. Nimet, how much do they pay them? They are now owing them. Koolu.
No flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no flight! Fly at your own risk! No weather, no
God, I beg you. Imagine you are seated at the airport waiting for your flight. And then you are just having this small dose, like you want to quickly have a nap. And then you started hearing, no weather, no flight, fly at your own risk. No weather, no flight, fly at your own risk. Just be like, oh, you won't fly, so you have to choose at your own risk. You know, just say, you know what? Nah, I'll see you later. I don't think I want to fly anymore. You know, that's the situation. Okay, so they are not well paid. They are also still being owed. They are very, very crucial and essential, so to say, to the successful operation of the aviation industry in Nigeria. Do you know what that simply means? Even you, the elites that have abandoned the roads for the terrorists flying, now you probably will be flying blind. And there's no Google map in the sky. There's no Google map and say, hey, traffic did this right. Pilot, take left. No, you can't. So, talking about the dramas coming from that place. So, the CEO of Earpiece, his name is Onyema, right? Had this to say when the company or the airline announced cancellation of some flights because they didn't want to fly blind.
Has NAMED called off this strike?
No, I haven't gotten that update. So.
If NAMED has not called off the strike, cancel and suspend every APC flight now with immediate effect. People's lives and the safety of our equipment, safety of our crew, safety of people's lives, first and foremost. If any other airline, I don't want to, the vice chairman just called me now and said that we are trying to cancel flights, that other airlines are flying. I don't care about that. I just don't care about that. Suspend every APC flight nationwide this moment. We should stop flying. We look at thunderstorm everywhere. Look at the kind of weather we are going into. And NIMET that is supposed to be providing this thing is on strike. And we are flying. Suspend every APC flight with immediate effect. Until further notice, until that strike is over. Suspend it. Safety first. Safety first. In APC, I don't want to hear any incident or whatever. Please, if people want to collect their money, let them collect their money. If people want their refund to go and fly elsewhere, let them collect. But I don't want to have blood in my hands. Please suspend every APC flight with immediate effect. Thank you.
I have already informed them.
Yeah, do it.
So maybe by tomorrow morning you will hear that they have paid them or they have agreed to pay them. Because they are very crucial. A lot of people have abandoned the roads now because of insecurity. So they are flying. So nobody's going to fly blind. Not even the private jet owners. Just so you understand how important. So for them to understand how important these people are, why do they choose to hold them? It's because it is Nigeria. They don't give a shit about them. Exactly. They can use a fire brigade approach. Once maybe 2 or 3 aircraft crashed or fly into themselves, then they will set up committee, and the committee will say, oh, it is because somebody stole the salaries that were supposed to be paid to these guys who are on strike, and then they went on strike. So because they went on strike, we had no real data to understand that like to not fly blind. So we decided to just continue flying blind because we just can't wait to not fly. So we need to set up the committees. The committee will now come back and say, oh, the report will be submitted to the Mr. President. And that's it, fire brigade approach. So if you understand the crucial role they are playing in your safety, why do you not pay them well and why do you hold them? The answer is because it is Nigeria. Now, just before the final one, okay? This time it is the response to Leary. I don't know if some of you have seen it though, right? Falano is Fubara's lawyer. I hope you know that. Now, see, San Falano, right? Came out to call out Werewike's role in what is going on in Rivers State, as well as, the backing of Thiefnubu in all of this and that. Then he challenged Werewike. Sorry, he challenged Werewike by asking Werewike to furnish us all his own legal engagements as a lawyer. You know, Werewike is a lawyer. So they say Werewike never defended anybody. Werewike never had any case to, you know. Anyway. Then Larry Olayinka, the Paulishe's personal assistant from Ekiti, who now works for Werewike as a special advisor to Werewike on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, as well as what's the other one though? Doesn't matter. Anyway, so he's an advisor to Werewike on all of this, and he's also Werewike's attack dog. So he went straight for Falana, or he trashed Falana. They are from the same state, Ekiti, or he did trash Falana. He said Falana is acting so dumb to be asking for Werewike's court case to prove that Werewike is a lawyer and a member or a life bencher. That was what Falana challenged Werewike of. So Lady Olayinka now responded and said, on behalf of Werewike, that Falana is just a TV lawyer. He never really win any real case. Exactly. The person responding to him when he said that is no other than Paulishe's controversial brother, Isaac. So Lady
Olayinka, you are now abusing Falana. Falana is now your mate. Falana is now Wike's mate. Oh, let come on, no more training. They don't use land for spoil your brain. Oti ganusi le Abuja. You don't ganusi. You are now a glutton. When born again, black slide. They now turn to they now do more than the people in the world. Lere, is Falana your mate? Is Falana Wike's mate? Who is Wike when Falana they talk? Lere. No. You don't turn to gluten now, chop by chop. They chop people's commonwealth generation. Now they chop. Everybody chop. Let me see. Don't talk. Larry, call the do talk. Falana na your mate. As we can work before. All the money we in get. Did you work for those money? Tell me one work where Wike don't do. Where you they compare Wike with Falana? Is that not disrespectful? If they send you job, Larry, Tobaro money share rule, half of policy, where is your brain? If they send you slave job, why you don't use your brain do the job? You can't talk to Falana. Compare Falana to your Wike. No. I'm disappointed. You wait the day humble for my house. Humble boy, you don't ganusile. Now you are a land grabber. You talk to anybody anyhow. You know, time go soon reach. You don't forget, say you, Femi Falana and Ojudu, planned coup against Fayose 2006 to declare state of emergency in Ekiti. You don't forget, you know, time go soon end, not too way to the end. Continue to the Kalusi, Lere Olopolo Dudu. Come out.
Isaac Fayose or Isaac Faulishe depends on which accent you want to put up. You know, like, is it Faulishe or Fayose? So finally, to those of you who have been on the Natasha and, no, not Akpabiole, Natasha Two-Face. Two-Face has now been given an appointment. But anyway, congratulations to you, Yuma, Director of Courts. According to Hyacinth, Alia, your governor, here is the new title. Here is the new add-on to his personal advisors on entertainment, and that's Two-Face. So from Natasha's, what do you call it? From Natasha's sort of like a conclave or enclave in Benin, which Two-Face is said to have moved to from his Lekki home or his Lagos home. He probably will be moving, I'm not sure though, but he probably will be moving back to Benue, his home state, as a special advisor to the governor on entertainment. Hyacinth, and what you had to say?
A lot of quarters, different areas, including us here in the States. Let me thank you very uniquely for supporting my administration and for propelling me for 2027. And I feel it will not be out of place at all, because you are a guru of entertainment. Once you say Two-Face, people start dancing, even without a song. So we are happy you're here. On behalf of the Benue State government and our very good people, we want to give you some more responsibility, plus the ones you have been doing, because you have the capacity to do some more and help us chart the way forward to improve other people's lives and to gain more from your wisdom and advisement as well. So I'm pleased to announce that we would make you a technical advisor to the governor on entertainment and community outreach.
Technical advisor. It's just a job for the boys. I could have left that out, but I intend to share it, and then I'm out of time, and I kind of create the time. Before I will say good night to all of us. So it's been an interesting evening. I'm so sorry that I'm not taking calls, okay? So thank you so much again for spending your evening with Mayegu. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. So until then, remember, check if your notification is actually set on. That means if you are following me, like you subscribed. Everyone else, check if you have actually paid your own offering this evening by liking the broadcast. If you haven't, do it now before we say good night. As I say good night from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń gba rìbá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òkúrò òpùrọ̀ olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀sùn rà ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.